Welcome back, everyone. We've had some nice weather here. The ground temperature is up. It's in a good place for us to plant some corn. So even though it's early, we got the corn planter hooked up. We're gonna go through, get it prepped, get it greased, get everything set up on it, and get some corn planted today. We use a little 2-row planter. Like I mentioned in a previous video, I think we plant about 1 acre of sweet corn. We may eventually plant a little more, but I don't see us ever planting more than 2 acres. So this little 2-row planter does a nice job. It's I believe it's a John Deere 7100 series planter that has been cut down, then rebuilt. A lot of new parts, the feeder drives, all new opening discs, closing wheels. Basically everything on it has been rebuilt new. You see your gear set up here for your different seed spacing. But I used this last year for the first time. Planted 3 different plots of corn with it. It did a nice job, so I was happy with it. We'll go through and just verify our settings. But we're gonna leave almost everything the same as last year. All right, there's not a whole lot to grease on this. There's about 6 grease zerks altogether. There's one on either side of the drive wheel here. Right on that axle, there's a bearing on either side. And you can see there's one on this row unit, or I'm sorry, 2 on that row unit, and same thing on here. So we got those all greased. The drive chains, I'm not gonna re-oil those. I used last year before I put it away, I used a good chain lubricant on them, and they're still in good shape. So we're gonna leave those go as is for now. We might, after we use it this time, before we plan for the next time, we might oil them back up, but for now they're good. We're not gonna make any adjustments either to the gearing, to the drive gearing here. Last year we did some different testing between the 3 different times we planted, and the last time we had good spacing, so we're gonna leave that go. The only thing we are gonna change though is we're gonna make an adjustment to the seed depth. That's with these adjustments here. There's a little T-handle. And the reason we're gonna do that is where they're currently set is where we had them last year. Again, with that, we did some testing during our different plantings, but running the disc through fresh and having the ground worked up where they're at now is a good setting. If you remember a few videos back, I already ran the disc through the field to chop up some of the residue, and the ground's really in good shape still, so I'm not gonna run the disc through it again for this first planting. So I'm just gonna set these about 1/4 inch deeper, just because the ground's been rained on, it's been snowed on, so it's firmed up a little bit. So I'm just gonna run them about 1/4 inch deeper to get started. You can see here, I just wrote on the planter itself just to help remember, but moving these towards the tractor would make the seed depth shallower, and then moving them towards the rear of the planter would increase the depth. And it's about 1/4 inch adjustment per hole, 1/4 inch of seed depth. See if I can do this one-handed. Okay, that's all it was. I just moved basically this half of the handle, just came back 1 hole. Do the same thing on this side. You can see this plate underneath. This all moves. If you look down underneath here, this is the same thing, and that just adjusts your, let's see if I can get here and show you. I don't know if you can see that, but it's basically a stop. Rides up against there. We'll get the seed boxes opened up here, and we'll get our seed in. So I just measured a seed out in old coffee cans. Obviously planting about a quarter acre at a time, you don't need much seed. And we'll do the same thing for the other side. As you can see, we barely fill the bottom of the seed hoppers. The final part of the setup will be, I'll go through, plant 15, 20 feet. I'll jump off, check the depth, check the seed spacing, make sure they're both good. Like I said before, the seed spacing, that shouldn't change. That should be still good from where we had set last year, but we'll check it. The depth, we'll make sure we're good on that, whether we need to adjust it back to where it was or if we need to go deeper. That field, most of you guys that noticed and saw the disking video I did, that field has a lot of rocks in it. So there are times where if one of the openers rides up on a rock, you know, there will be some seeds just on top of the ground, but unfortunately, it's just how that field is. And in this area, really, there's the soil, the ground around here can vary from extremely rocky to really very few rocks, all in the same field. My one larger field that my neighbor still plants crops in, that one is a good example of that. Maybe at some point I'll do a quick walkthrough on that field, but the lower section of it is just like my sweet corn field. It's extremely rocky, but then the upper part of the field, there's really not a rock in it. It's just strange. Like I said, it's just how this part of the state is. That's really all there is to getting this corn planter set up. We'll get out here later today, see if we can get some corn in the ground. Hopefully everything goes well. If anybody has any questions on this planter, like I said, I used it last year for the first time and was very happy with it. So if anybody has any questions on it, drop a comment below. I'll be sure to check and answer them. Other than that, if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like, the subscribe button, and we'll see you on the next one.